Hey, John.
Hey, what's up, Rob?
How you been?
I'm doing all right, man. It's good to see you again.
Yeah. It's this is our third talk, and I think we're really starting to make some progress.
Yes, we are.
We talked about your substance use disorder, and we moved into the behavioral addiction. But the last time we spoke, John, I sensed you talked about that revelation of John.
Yes.
And
yes.
I really like that the spirituality of that. Although it could have been an addiction, the
Sure.
social media, I thought it was a really healthy outlet. And we also talked about, funneling it towards, more in person.
Yes.
Which
being present in the moment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having the phone in your hand all the time.
Yeah, I've worked some spirituality into my life, and and in 12-step fellowshipping, it's commonly said that this God of our understanding works through people.
Yes.
So I thought it was really good the way we were moving that possibility of a behavioral addiction. We were moving it towards a more personable, one-on-one, face-to-face type of situation with
Yes.
people, and I think that's going to be a great way for us to practice spirituality in
Yes.
the moment.
Yes.
But we also were briefly talking about meditation.
Yes, we did.
And can you tell me about how you meditate?
Well, I started to practice. It was recommended to me by a therapist years ago, and when I was away in state prison, I did a lot of research in the different types of philosophies and world religions. Everything from Buddhism to Nag Hammadi, all that stuff, and even Christianity, there's states of meditation that go on. So I found this one guy who was really interesting. His name's Edgar Casey, and he was known as like the sleeping prophet. Well, anyway, he would go into these like trances, and people would ask him questions, and he would answer them, and it was like coming over from the other side. But a lot of it was geared towards helping the individual, and I felt like that was good stuff. And he described a practice of meditation where you become one with the moment. And that sounds very familiar with a lot of other practices for meditation. So
is there a technique involved with
there
this?
There's a technique. So you would you basically would 3 times around with the neck like this, and then counterclockwise 3 times, and then you turn your head sideways 3 times, up and down 3 times.
What's the significance of that number 3? Can you explore that?
I don't know. It's just a high spiritual number, like Trinity, like Father, Son, Mother, and then the Immaculate Conception, all those things, like the divine,
right.
The Trinity, the Triune. So if you look into a lot of that stuff, it's like pretty common, and I guess it's like ingrained in us.
Yeah, well, in numerology, 3, there's a significance to a lot of different kind of numbers.
Yeah.
I can
So
recall.
3 is the birth of creation. So,
right.
Yeah, that's what they say. So, so 3 times, and then through each nostril 3 times. And then, you go into, like where your feet are flat on the ground, your hands on your thighs, and you drift. And the idea is to clear your thoughts, clear your mind, really get a sense and a feel of your body, the moment that you're in. And, it's funny that you're bringing it up, Rob, because I have not really been doing it, lately. So, with the state of my life and the state of affairs in the world, I feel like, my coping skills have, shifted more towards the social media, more towards, work,
Distractions.
Yeah, a lot of the distractions, but, the inner healing of myself, the spiritual side of myself, to get in touch with me, to have that moment, that level of self-care that we always talk about, it's real important, man.
Yeah, I was, you mentioned being in state prison. I'm going to self-disclose here just a touch. I did 12, and then most people will say, you did 12 years?
Yeah.
And I'd just say 12 of the longest weeks of my life.
yeah.
I was out the county. I was in the county. It was just over a technicality. But I was able to take a anger management course there, which they felt I needed. I I wasn't mad about it, but
That's great.
and it was a way to get off the block for a minute. And
Yes.
but I learned a breathing technique. I'd love to share with you if you'll allow me to.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm always open-minded to new ideas.
Now I've read that it's always good to breathe with your stomach, rather than your chest. It's more relaxing to up and down, with your diaphragm, and it's always breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And after a few, then maybe breathe in and hold it for 5 seconds, and then breathe out and relax for 10 seconds.
So you're taking like my emotional state and you're calming it by restoring my body to its original
Calming
state.
it by strictly concentrating on your breathing. You're clearing
Sure, I
your
would love to
mind.
try this, Rob.
And as thoughts want to creep in, no, I'm just going to think about my breathing right now, and it gets you at one with your body.
Okay.
And then you can even continue on and relax muscles in each part of your body, and feel the energy coming in as you breathe in, and the energy flowing out of each part of your body as you breathe out.
Okay.
And it really gets you in touch with your physical state.
Great.
All right. And is that something?
Yeah, I'd
Does
be
it
more
sound
than willing.
familiar to you? Or,
Absolutely, we can do that.
it sounds like you've been, when you were with the nostrils, it sounded like you were doing something similar to that.
Yeah.
Okay. And can we try it out?
Sure.
Okay. Go. There you go. See that stomach move. Don't have to hold that gut in, John. Just let it up and down. We're just going to push any other thoughts aside. Now, one added benefit here, John. You mentioned, we were talking earlier, you mentioned insomnia. If you ever want to go to sleep,
Less
do
caffeine.
this lying down.
Don't drink coffee before I
No.
go to sleep.
Do this meditative technique lying down. That's why they always tell you
Sure.
when you meditate to sit up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to fall asleep
Sure.
if you lay down. But I've used it often when I was struggling with sleep, and rather than take, I'll take some melatonin or something like that. But I don't like to take medicine.
It's very similar to what I was practicing, and what I try to, I need to get back in touch with it, but like also to set an intention before I do it. Like
Please
I wanna,
explain.
yeah. So like to set an intention, like like I want to be more helpful. I want to be more healthy. I feel as though I'm a good person in my heart. Help guide me.
Self-affirmation.
Yeah, some self-affirmations, exactly. Positive self-affirmations. I talk a lot about that with the groups that I run, and
Then you're following that up with some goal setting.
absolutely goal setting, and just to be really in touch with the inner self. I think it's really important to me, and it's been extremely beneficial over the years. I just celebrated 6 years, man, and I feel like I'm turning corners. Like when it comes to the drug use and everything else. So, of course, today, being in recovery this long, it's not about a drug today. It's not about, an alcohol today. It's about the day-to-day life stuff, and like we get caught up in all the distractions, and like just to have that moment to meditate, I think it's really important to me, Rob. Thank you for reiterating this.
Yeah. So let me close this up by stating, I always try to, and I would say that you might want to even mention this to clients you're working with.
Sure.
John, we're not bad people trying to get good. I think there's a goodness in all of us, and it's that mindfulness of yes, I am that self-affirmation, like I mentioned, that you are a good person.
Yes.
So rather than thinking of ourselves as bad people trying to get good, let's just always think of ourselves as, maybe sick people or maybe not so well people that are just trying to get a little more well.
Yes.
All right, and that's all we're trying to do is one day at a time, we're going to make some progress.
Okay.
and move toward the goal that I mentioned earlier too.
Great.
All right, so I'd like to see you again, and I'd like you to maybe
Sure.
work on some of these techniques, maybe even come up with some more ideas of your own, because
Sure.
I want to learn too,
Sure.
and look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks.
Con.
I appreciate it, man.
Thanks.